14 slides. It's a first-person shooter on the Wii. Has anyone played an FPS on the Wii?
Metroid.
Yeah. Metroid Prime.
It's not really
Medal of Honor. So some of you are familiar with them. Not a lot of games out there. There's 12 total games, except for Metroid Prime and Red Steel. There's all kind of ports of 360 next-gen stuff. We release tomorrow, so this is a calm before the storm. We're very nervous, excited, just a roller coaster of emotions. We're rated teen, which is very important for us too, and that was something we targeted from very early on. The Wii is a weird market. I don't think anyone's quite cracked the market. So making it teen automatically opens up to a much wider audience. We're sick of looking at blood colors and splatter and everything we get away with to make sure it's teen. But we did hit teen and 16 in Europe, so it's huge for us. Single player and then multiplayer, 2 to 12 players. And that's competitive. Quick story arc overview. You're Michael Ford, you're a Secret Service agent who stops an attack on the president. His own Secret Service agents turn on him. You kill everyone. That gets you the attention of this shadow government organization known as the Trust, the Men in Black. And they've been working behind the scenes throughout U.S. history, kind of pulling strings, making sure everything flows. The Illuminati, Skull and Bones. So all the secret societies are kind of this one group run by John Adams. As you kind of dig deeper and deeper into the Trust as a new Trust agent, you find out more and more about what's going on. There's a bug that's hit the world. Terrorist attacks in Washington, D.C. Reports of alien sightings have been growing and growing. So you kind of put all these pieces together and uncover this much, much bigger conspiracy against not only the U.S. but the world. Working with you is Prometheus, who talks to you through your ASC, your all-seeing device, which we'll get to in a minute. Our key features when designing the game was weapons are fun. We have 18 different weapons across 3 different kind of groups. So we have the alien stuff, which we'll get into, the human stuff, very standard shooter stuff, and then the Trust stuff, which is our high-tech plasma laser gun kind of cool blue electricity stuff. Gameplay and storyline are important to us, but telling a good story in games is a challenge. You don't want to beat the player over the head with your story. You know, how do you tell a good story for the people that care about it, but not beat players over the head who just want to kill things and shoot things. So we have a lot of elements where it's very short cut scenes. There's a lot of elements of the environments that tell a good story, but if you don't care, you can just plow right through as well. So you're not sitting there listening to a cinema or listening to some guy preach to you for 5 minutes. ASC device is kind of our differentiator. If you're familiar with the game, it's kind of this tech orb that floats in your hand, and that has a projected light that can reveal invisible geometry, hidden monsters. There's puzzles, puzzle solving. If you ever get lost, it'll show you your path, a la Dead Space. So it's a very useful tool, and as the game progresses, you unlock more and more controls and things you can do with this device. Wii-specific controls. That's kind of the big principal, main reason we decided to do this on the Wii, is the controls. They're unique, and we don't feel any other FPS have really taken full advantage of what the Wii control can do. There's an analog between pointing at the screen and firing a weapon, which you don't get with the dual analogs. You don't get with the mouse and keyboard. So we think that's kind of the big, strong selling point. It's been really, really gratifying for us when we've showed the game and people have picked it up who haven't played an FPS, who haven't even played a Wii before, but they immediately get it. Within a couple minutes, they're understanding. Hey, you point, that's my weapon, you shoot, they get it, which is very, very cool. The learning curve is not very high, so we think it's very accessible too. Controls and customization, you've been in a little bit. Hopefully you've played around with it. We've exposed all the tools we use as developers to make our controls good to the player. So the player can really customize anything from the size of the bounding box. You can drag all your HUD elements around. You can change the transparency of your HUD, running speed, all the sensitivities for your pointer. And that's huge too with the controls, that they're very unique. Let the player play as the player wants to play the game. They can play with the controls as much as they want. We don't want to force them to play whatever our designers think is the best control scheme. You know, you can set it. Everyone's different. And then online multiplayer. And that's huge for after you play single player, there's hours and hours and hours, and that's what keeps people playing the game. Here are weapons, again, separated between 3 different main groups. 3 different kinds of grenades as well. And play around with the grenades. So I don't know if you played much with them in single player, but I don't know any other game that does it that way. You just point at where you want to go, flick your nunchuck on the default control scheme, and it'll figure out the arc for you. With a couple minutes, you can get very, very accurate with them. It's not you press a button and kind of hope that it goes the right way. Radiation grenades are your sticky grenades. They do damage over time. You can stick walls, you can stick people with them. And then flash is our trust grenade, which is a flashbang. It'll blind you as well as disrupt your radar for a couple seconds in multiplayer. 14 different enemies. Diversity of enemies is huge as well, from the trust, the humans, and the drudge, which is our alien race. ASE, I spoke a little bit about. This is kind of our differentiator between the high action moments. Take a little breather and pull out your ASE. There's some cool stuff you can do with it. Our single player campaign, it's about 8 hours, the full campaign, through 9 different missions. It all takes place in Washington, D.C. So we did our research and a lot of the landmarks. D.C. is great because it's so iconic. There's so many landmarks. You say, hey, I know that. I've seen that. And it makes it even cooler when you can kind of blow those buildings up. You can see the Washington Monument there that's been taken a bite out of or blown up or whatever. So D.C. is a very, very cool setting for us, and all of our story takes place in there. Multiplayer, we're pretty confident we have the most robust multiplayer on the Wii. All of your standard modes are there that anyone who plays multiplayer will expect. So you have your deathmatch, your team deathmatch, your multi-flag CTF, your single flag CTF. There's a couple different modes which we can get into later, which I think are unique to the Conduit. And they go across 7 different maps, which are all designed from the ground up for multiplayer, taking themes from our single player campaign. So thematically, they are DC environments. Wow, I'm going fast here. Enthusiast press. If you've been following the game, it's been very, very positive. We think we're something special in that we're on the Wii, and that we're unique, and that we're taking Wii owners' core game, which is the hardcore, seriously on the Wii.